Alright, we got a red alert in terms of comps you want to be playing right now. And this comp was actually pretty good in the last patch. We had it in the B tier down here. It is Socialite Sion. You guys need to be playing this right now. It is super easy to play. Let me show you how easy it is. We have the player who showed me this comp like 2 weeks ago. His name's Hawkeye. He is rank 50 on his server. He's in Japan. But he plays like 17, 18, Imperial. He's playing Sion 19 out of 20 games. He is good enough for top 50 on a server. Let's look at the next guy, Yojgod. He is ranked 380 right now, but he's been 18 out of 20 Socialite with the Sion in most of the games. After that, we have Pepega and TFT. These two are in North America. He is rank 172 right now. Sion is like the only thing he's been playing recently. Next up, we have Europe, Bolinart. He is rank 170, and he is playing 18 games of Galio, 18 games of Sion. You guys get the picture. There are two in Korea here. I don't know how to say their names, but rank 150, rank 45. Like, a lot of people are playing this comp, and the people who are playing it are one-tricking it. Lucky for you guys, the comp is super easy to play. I just played it right now. I played it a bit in the last patch, but I didn't want to use the recording from a previous patch, so I played one game right before this. And the reason why this comp works so well is because no one's going for it. If you think of 4-cost carries, people go for Urgot, people go for Yon, people go for Lux. Every other 4-costs, like the tanks, Mundo, Braum, like they're all taken out of the pool. You know what that means? That means that no one is buying Sion ever. So if you roll for Sion, mathematically, you get it much easier than every other champion, which is absolutely nuts, right? So you get Sion 2-star really easily. You get Sion 1-star really easily. And if you're patient enough, you get Sion 3-star really easily. So you start off the game, you get a glove, because the most important items are Jeweled Gauntlet and Infinity Edge. And yeah, you'll see here, I play this game absolutely horribly, by the way. I'm just gonna preface this. So this video is more for showing you how stupid this comp is, that you could play like a monkey and still do really, really well on it. So I take Calculated Loss, even though I have an Innovator start. Mistake number one, probably should have taken Target Dummies because I don't need Calculated Loss. The reason why I took Calculated Loss was because normally you do kind of just try to survive until you hit Sion. There are two ways to play it. So the first one is, actually 3 ways to play it. First way is just play normal. Just go for whatever comps, because so many different comps use Infinity Edge and Jeweled Gauntlet. So you just play regular standard leveling. The other one is a little more aggressive. You level up to level 7 at stage 3-5, and then you roll down and stabilize with a Sion 1-star. And then the last one is the greedier way, which is the way I'm going to play it in this game. And that is where you just play the best board until stage 4-5, and then roll down for Sion 2 at level 8. So yeah, I took Calculated Loss, even though we have a bunch of 2-stars, so my bad. That makes it so that we are playing without an augment, but again, it should show you how stupid this comp really is, because even though I'm down an augment, we're still doing really, really well. So I'm going to skip through the early game a bit here, because early game, you just play whatever synergies you have. I have Innovator. I have a bunch of 2-stars. I kind of mix and match the two. You guys know the story already. But let's go on into the first carousel. So we have 2 crits, and so we want to build Infinity Edge and Jeweled Gauntlet. Best items on Sion by far. Third item, I've seen people go Hextech Gunblade. I've seen people go Titan's Resolve, Rabadon's Death Cap, Handed Justice. I feel like the best one is Titan's Resolve, but there's no, like, if you get the other ones, like, no harm, no foul, you know? So all those got taken. I'm going for the Rod. No, he takes it. So I have a Chain Vest on my bench, so I'm just going to grab the bow, slam a Titan's Resolve. After you get those 3 items for Sion, all you want to do is stack as many Chalice of Powers as possible, because Sion is the only person that matters on your team. If we pause for a second and take a look at someone's match history, if we look at the items, like, it's just Sion items and then anything else. Like tank items on Galio, like, it just doesn't matter. Like, look at all the 1-stars we have on these people's final boards. They're scoring really well on these, by the way. Like, nothing matters, only Sion matters, so only prioritize Sion items if you can. But back to the game, we're just kind of like not utilizing our augment at all. It is stage 3-3. We get a new shop. I went ahead and went for Socialite Heart. I feel like getting First Aid Kit might have actually been better, because Sion does do a lot of healing, because he uses the Socialite hex for it, but getting Socialite's fine too. Oh, and one other thing, guys. You might have heard before that Socialite Sion needs a good Socialite hex. Well, you'll see how well it does this game. We are in the back row, which is the worst spot for Sion, and you'll come to see that it just doesn't matter where this Socialite hex is. So, yeah, I won't spoil too much, but yeah, if you feel like you can only play it in the front row, you are incorrect. If you notice that, if you notice in the match histories of the people we looked at, they played it almost every game, which means I doubt that the Socialite hex was in the front row every single time. So on this carousel, I grab a sword there. We get the IE. We built the JG before because a rod dropped from the neutral rounds, but we essentially have our 3 Sion items. You normally do not get it this early, but you know what? Because I was kind of lucky this game in terms of the items, we got it, so that is good, but this is by no means required at this point in the game. Like, if you have other items, just slam them for early game and just go from there. Like if you have a 2 belts or something like that, just build a Warmogs and try to win streak with that and preserve HP. But let's skip ahead a little bit because honestly, these stages don't really matter. The only units that you want are the Socialites and the Imperials. Sometimes people get Cho'Gath as well because he gives the Colossus buff. But you guys see here, we're on stage 4-1, we're 66 life, our team isn't even that strong. But I'm just not going to roll. I'm going to wait till 4-5, go to level 8, and roll down like 50 gold in order to get Sion 2. You may also notice my items. They are the sword and the bow. Doesn't matter. I would have preferred like a Chalice of Harmony item, but you know, it is what it is. You don't really need that, and I'm just going to leave this team as is. So I'm going to be losing a couple rounds, obviously, because we just don't have a strong team, because we didn't roll, but it just doesn't matter. So moving on to the next carousel, we are just going to grab the Negatron Cloak on Yone because we want Chalice, and that's one component of it. We don't really need to complete any of the bow or sword items because it just doesn't matter, but let's just do our roll down right now. We're going to be looking for the Sion 1-star, but then I just hit this random Lux 2, so I kind of just decided to chill for that for a little bit. I'm going to roll a little more because I was just forcing the comp. So we finally, oh no, I skipped a Sion. Dude, I didn't even realize I skipped it in this game. I was probably a little too trigger happy at this point. But we drop the Lux in, we buy the Seraphine, and then we're gonna roll a little more, try to find a Sion. So unlucky, unskillful, whatever you wanna call it. I did miss a Sion, that is my bad. But let's just pretend you guys rolled down on 4-5 and did not hit a Sion. You will see that, again, it does not matter. And you could just use like a temporary item holder as if you were playing any other comp. In this case, we're doing Lux, but in other games, it might be something else. So now we go on to the last augment. I just go for Sunfire board because the fights end so quickly, so I feel like Sunfire does get a decent bit of value. Exile's a little weird because I want to run Chalice of Powers, and I don't have that many units either. But yeah, that one's tough to say. Maybe Makeshift Armor would have been useful, but I don't really care about any of the other units. But we find a new Sion here, so we just have to wait. I'm holding Imperials on my bench. If you guys are wondering which Imperials are the best to partner with Sion, whether it is Talon, Samira, or Swain, I'm just going to straight up tell you, it just really doesn't matter. Just use whoever. If you had to ask me who is the best one, and if you knew that answer, you'd probably win maybe 0.001% more games if you knew which one was better. So it honestly just doesn't matter at all. Personally, I think Talon and Swain are slightly better than Samira, but again, it just has no bearing on the outcome of the game. So let's skip ahead. We actually won those last 2 rounds. Lux was pretty strong there. And then we get some items. We get a belt, and then we get a tier and another sword. So what items would you guys build here? We can pause the video. I'll give you guys like 2 seconds if you guys want to pause it on your end as well to figure out what items to build. Now is the time to do it. But the items I would build are Zeke's Herald and Chalice of Power, and then just like a random Giant Slayer. I'm probably just going to recraft the Giant Slayer, but I just want to play this board for a little longer before I transition. And the reason why is because I just want to slow roll at 50 for Sion 2 until times get desperate. So we end up facing this guy. He's got Jace 2, Sion 2, Fiora 2, like all itemized, really, really scary stuff. Maybe our Lux can clean up a little bit, but then he also has a Yuumi with Warmogs. This guy is super high roll. We lose to him by 6 units, and that's when the alarm bells start ringing off in my head. You should probably roll now. So that's what we're gonna do right now, and we'll just see what we hit in this roll down. Keep in mind, guys, this is stage 5-1. A lot of games you'll have Sion 1 in like stage 4-1, you'll have Sion 2 in stage 4-5. So this is an atypical game. This would be what I call like, not like a low roll game, but not like a high roll game either, you know? But we drop the Sion in, we're gonna drop the guys to put in the Imperials and then just leave it at that. I have this random, oh, we hit Galio, luckily, so I need to fit him in somehow. Let's take out the Seraphine, I think, because Yumi is just too good of a unit right now. But let's drop the items on. I'm gonna put the aura items on Yumi, put the damage items that we talked about, the best in slots, on the Sion. And do we get the, nice, we got all the buffs off right there. And then this Giant Slayer, I'm just gonna recraft. What we're really looking for is a tank item for Galio, because boom, look at that. Sion just cleans everyone up. He has a 3 Socialite buff, meaning he gets mana regen, he gets damage, and he gets healing from everything. And this guy's looking kind of low right now. So we're at 50 gold. What I like to do personally, because before, as I've been saying, no one goes for this comp, you could get 3-star Sion really easily. 2-star Sion's good enough to get top 4s, but I will say it is hard to win with 2-star Sion. 3-star Sion pretty much wins like 90% of the time, unless I get something ridiculously crazy. Sion 3 will win, and you do get it really often. Like, I played this comp 3 times in my life, I think, and I got it once out of those 3. I'd say that's pretty often, in my opinion. But, like, I've watched people play it, and the Japanese player that I talked about before, I've seen him hit Sion 3, like, way too many times, and it's only because no one goes for this comp. So we rolled down a bunch, did not hit any Sions, unlucky, because I scouted before, and no one's going for this comp. So it is a little unlucky that we don't receive more copies of Sion by this point in the game. Granted, we did skip one earlier, so that is my B. Oh no, Sion did not one-shot his backline. What are we gonna do? Heimerdinger healed all the way back up. Nope, they're dead. Maybe Vex Shield is enough with the Dragon Claw to tank the Sion. Nope, not enough. His autos deal 520 damage as well, or 900 on the Tristana. So this guy's out. Let's keep slow rolling. So slow rolling, in case you guys are new, you want to just roll down to 50 every single turn in order to get the most amount of interest to get whatever units you want. So what we want on this carousel here is this Yumi, but everyone wants the Yumi. So let's just go for the Shroud of Stillness, because there are no tank items for our Galio. So we'll just take a utility item. All right, let's roll down some more. There's a Galio, that's good. No Sions yet. Oh, we got one there. I did not skip that one, thank God. Samira, like, we could 2-star her, but like, does it really matter? The answer's like, no. This probably wasted me more gold in the long run, if you think about it. But let's spread our units out so that we can use our Shroud of Stillness to most effect, so we can kind of cheese it for one round. So to cheese it, you just like wait till the game starts and try to put it on the best unit. I actually missed this slot. I should have probably put it on the Galio, because it would have hit his Kaisa, which would have been very, very useful for like delaying it. But watching this fight, boom, Sion, no competition for everyone. He one-taps with an auto attack on the Kaisa, which is pretty funny. And as you guys can see, in stage 5, imagine if we had this in stage 4, no one can compete with him. My friends have even been telling me they've top 4 with Sion 1-star, and that is just absolutely crazy to me. Oh, by the way, if you do not have Socialite Hex, you want the Seraphine for the 3rd Socialite, because it's actually pretty important if you do not have a Hextech Gunblade. So we rolled down a bunch more gold, no Sion, so a little unfortunate there. Well, let's go to the next fight. I just dropped my Shroud in the middle. We miss his Urgot. We do get his Jace, though. I wonder why he backlined Jace with those items. I actually love Thieves Gloves on Jace 2-star, because you just put him in the front if you have tank items and put him in the back if you have damage items. I actually think he's one of the best Thieves Gloves users in the game. We had some close calls here, some close calls. But is it enough? Dude, he's just at that threshold where teams are not strong enough to beat him, and in which case he just 1v9. So that's what I'm talking about. This is why it's really easy to get top 4s with him, but a little difficult to win without Sion 3-star, because as you guys saw here, he barely just doesn't kill a couple of units, and that causes like a very close call. We could have lost by like 5 units there very easily if like some random fight RNG happened in his favor, but luckily that didn't happen in this particular instance. But again, it's not like a secret first place comp. with the Sion 2. You do need Sion 3 to win, but getting second place, third place, super, super easy with just a Sion 2. So let's see what we get here. We got a Nikos, actually. That is incredible because that's exactly what we are looking for. I'm going to go for Tarek 3 as well. When we're rolling down, you might as well pick up other units. And since I have the Nico, I might as well roll down a little more. Probably I should have stayed at 50 at this point and waited for my next loss. But I was at a little scared because I was at 28 life. But perhaps I could have waited one more turn before rolling below 50. So we hit the Yumi 2. That's good at least. And then now we could kind of chill. We are against, what is this guy? Samira player? He's Samira 2-star. I'm surprised he made third place. Because, I mean, Samira got nerfed, right? So it probably shouldn't be as strong. But we're able to beat him. Let's go to the next round. If you guys didn't notice, our ghost did lose to the other person. So, oh, the other guy just forfeited. Hilarious. But our ghost did lose to the other person, so that means this guy does beat us because he's got 7 innovators, he's got Jace 2, he's got Kaisa 2. His team's actually looking really scary as well. We're just going to shroud the Socialite Hex because that's probably where he's going to put his Kaisa, and if he moves the Kaisa away from the Hex, that's probably fine for us as well because, well, then she doesn't get the 20% damage buff. So I'm probably chilling with that exchange. Yeah, he swapped it. We do get Shrouded. It is a little unfortunate. You can't really do much about that. But the trade-off is worth it, in my opinion. So we actually get blasted here. So we're at 8 life now. We need to roll it down to 0. His team is actually turbo capped, so it is a little risky. But we need to roll down to 0 right now. I need to roll down 50. I am so slow at rolling in this set so far. Normally you'd buy all the 4 costs, but I'm just too slow. I skip a Tarek there. I probably should have picked that up, but I'm just looking for Sions right now because we have the Nikos on our bench. And are we able to get it before the last fight? No, we are not, because, like, unlucky. If we had more Sions in the early part of the game, we probably would have hit Sion 3. If we waited one more round before rolling below 50, we may have also hit Sion 3 as well. If the other guy didn't quit the game, we may have also been able to match up into him and then also get the Sion 3. So a lot of weird things did happen that prevented us from getting it. But, you know, you could argue that we didn't always get the Nico. So, but that is how you play this comp. It's really simple to do. And I would play this as soon as you can because I have a feeling that everyone's going to start playing this in like after 24 hours maybe. So yeah, good luck in your games. Let me know how it goes for you guys, and I will see you all later. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to share and subscribe, and of course smash that like button. Each like is an LP I gain before the next video.